Hey everyone, let's jump right into this urgent institutional explainer. We're putting on our financial analyst hats today to unpack the recent volatility we've seen in the tech market. Over the next few minutes, we're going to examine a massive, seismic shift that's currently rocking Silicon Valley and talk about why we need to move away from blind momentum trading and get right back to fundamental risk management. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the DeepSeek valuation shock, question the CAPEX narrative, draw some dot-com parallels, look at the open source hedge, monitor the crypto contagion risks, and finally, strategize on rebalancing for real ROI. Let's get right to it. All right, part one, the DeepSeek valuation shock. This was a massive catalyst for a reality check across the board. Think back to the opening bell of this whole crisis. China drops this highly efficient, open source model called DeepSeek R1, and it acts like a surgical strike on the tech sector's biggest foundational assumptions. The immediate shock was just staggering, a $600 billion wipeout of Nvidia's market cap in literally a single day. And it only bounced back, maybe $30 billion the following session? The market wasn't just reacting to a cool new product. It was violently hitting the repricing button on the entire infrastructure layer of the AI boom. As Nassim Taleb perfectly put it, this is a little chip in the glass of the valuation question. The big takeaway here is not that AI as a technology is unraveling, not at all, but that fairy tale narrative of a flawless, infinite spend trajectory, yeah, that glass is cracked. The assumption that the only way forward was writing blank checks for premium hardware is officially under the microscope. Moving to Section 2, questioning the CAPEX narrative. It's really coming down to efficiency versus brute force. Now, what is absolutely fascinating right now is picturing these Silicon Valley war rooms. They are scrambling, desperately trying to figure out how a tiny startup matched their tech for pennies on the dollar. See, the old assumption was that AI required endless premium hardware spend and total closed-source dominance. But the new reality? Open-source models can hit top-tier performance with massive, and I mean massive, cost efficiency. If a startup can just fine-tune older tech on the cheap, hyperscalers like Microsoft or AWS might not actually need to maintain those astronomical capital expenditures. But hang on, we do have to look at both sides of the coin. Jacqueline Rice Nelson over at Tribe AI brings up the Jevons paradox. Think of cheaper AI like adding more lanes to a highway. Sure, the barrier to entry is lower, but what happens? More traffic shows up. Lowering the cost ultimately drives up enterprise experimentation, which means overall inferencing demand goes up. The underlying need for compute isn't vanishing, it's just shape-shifting. And you can't talk about CAPEX uncertainty without impartially monitoring the global supply chain and regulatory headwinds. For instance, President Trump has proposed tariffs aimed at pulling semiconductor manufacturing back from Taiwan, which, by the way, currently handles roughly 98% of the business. That is a colossal potential pivot. Plus, you have Nvidia actually publicly endorsing DeepSeek's work. Some analysts are reading that as a quiet signal to the US government, basically saying, hey, these current export controls on chips, they really aren't working anyway. Which brings us to Section 3, dot-com parallels and valuations. Let's look at the actual math behind the sell-off. All right, let's step away from the headlines and dig into the fundamentals. Channeling some institutional analysis from Martin Orton here, let's compare the current cycle to the late 90s dot-com era. We are absolutely in an innovation supercycle with massive, broad market expansion, just like back then. But look at these tech valuations. We're sitting up in the 90th percentile. When you've got names trading at 41 times future earnings, there is literally zero room for error. The market is pricing in flawless execution and total world domination. So the sell-off? Honestly, it was a totally rational, fundamental reaction to a market that was stretched way, way too thin. Section 4, the open source hedge. Silicon Valley is adapting rapidly. Let's pivot over to the software layer. Thomas Wolfe, the chief science officer at Hugging Face, confirmed something huge. The performance gap between closed source and open source is officially closed. Done. And it's not just an isolated event with one startup. This is a borderless systemic shift. Within days, the developer community cranked out over 670 derivative models. We're talking 3.2 million downloads with a crazy 30% day-over-day growth rate. They even spun up an OpenR1 project just to completely reproduce the training pipeline. Open source is moving at absolute lightning speed. And if you want a textbook example of how portfolio managers can hedge in this wild environment, look at Meta. They practically sailed right through this tech sell-off and hit record highs. Why? Well, Mark Zuckerberg's early, massive commitment to open source through their Llama models basically acted as a giant natural moat against this exact type of shock. They were already perfectly aligned with the fundamental reality that the rest of the market is just now waking up to.
All right, Section 5, Crypto and Contagion Risks. This is our high beta canary in the coal mine.
You know the old saying, when tech catches a cold, high beta assets get pneumonia? Well, tracking the recent timeline shows exactly how that blind momentum hit a brick wall. Late last year, we saw these massive multi-billion-dollar ETF inflows riding the hype. But the second that DeepSeek contagion hit, boom! Bitcoin took its biggest intraday nosedive in over a month, and we witnessed the largest drop in CME open interest history. Crypto traders realized they were way overextended, and anything linked to AI took a brutal beating. But zooming out, we are seeing a massive push for broader, structural efficiency. We've got the rollback of SAB 121, finally allowing banks to hold crypto. We're tracking the new White House advisory group on digital currencies, and even whispers of Microsoft potentially trying to acquire TikTok's US arm. Then there's Elon Musk's Doge initiative, aggressively targeting government waste. Whether we're looking at the private sector or the government, the overarching message is clear: that era of undisciplined, unchecked spending is facing some serious regulatory and market scrutiny. Which leads us to our final section, number 6, rebalancing for ROI reality, the analyst directive. So, bringing all of this together, how do we fundamentally adjust our institutional portfolios for this new, hyper-scrutinized environment? These rebalancing steps are absolutely crucial to lock in. We are advising an immediate, hard pivot away from chasing pure momentum straight back to demanding fundamental valuation metrics. Number 1, diversify your AI exposure to include software and open-source infrastructure that actually benefits from cheaper compute. 2, heavily scrutinize any hyperscaler that is overly dependent on massive hardware capex. 3, prioritize agile companies taking a multi-model, cost-efficient approach. And lastly, demand measurable, real-world enterprise ROI. No more paying for theoretical growth stories. I'm going to leave you with this one provocative thought to make sure your risk management is truly prepared for a multi-model future. As AI efficiency scales at an unprecedented rate, you have to ask yourself, is your portfolio priced for fundamental reality? Or are you still paying a premium for a flawless narrative that simply doesn't exist anymore? Think about it. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.